Hello and welcome to Blindfolded 16 star in Super Mario 64. I want to take the time today and explain a bit about the run, talk a bit about all the new strats that we have developed over the years, because this run is nothing like it has been just 3 or 2 or even 1 year ago. The strats have evolved immensely. They have gotten much faster, much more fluid, much more consistent as well. It is now possible to get consistent times under 25 minutes, which is absolutely crazy to think about for blindfolded speedrunning. And yeah, I just want to kind of guide you through a no reset run today. I've recorded this yesterday, the run live on stream, and we just wanted to get the no reset run done as part of like marathon submissions. And yeah, I was very happy with the result, honestly. It's very surprising how good the strats and the route has become over the years. So first of all, we start with the first skip or glitch of the game, which is lucky to skip. We do have a blindfolded setup for that. By aligning with the fence here, punching, we can perfectly align Mario with the bridge so that we can skip Lucky 2, which skips a few text boxes. Very, very nice. Then, just as in visual speedruns, we align the camera perfectly towards the first door and go to Bob-omb Battlefield, which yet again has a very, very tricky strat that we're gonna attempt. This strat is only around 50% consistent, so if we don't get it, we have a backup ready. We are attempting the famous bomb clip. For that, you need to grab the bomb, throw it, re-grab. Here I failed, unfortunately. But you can re-grab the bomb and then basically clip through this gate here. If we fail though, it's not a big deal. It loses around 30 seconds, I would say. But we can back it up easily with a lock cam setup, which is also a very interesting technique, because there is actually a camera setting in the game called lock cam, which many people don't know about. And that camera setting makes that you can basically place the camera wherever you want in the stage, lock it, and then when you move as Mario, the camera will not move anymore. And we're gonna see that later in the run as well. But yeah, that was the first star, chain jump. Unfortunately with a failed bomb clip, but as you can see on the splits, 30 seconds lost. That's like pretty okay, I would say. Especially in a no reset setting, it's like totally fine if you miss it. The next stage we're gonna do is Whomp's Fortress with some pretty clean castle movement here in the beginning. Whomp's Fortress, we get 5 whole stars. It is the fastest stage in Blindfolded still to this day. And most of the stars are very, very quick. I say most of them because there are some exceptions with, for example, the boss fight, which we're gonna tackle first. Very important here, the text boxes at the beginning, they only spawn on the first star. And all the other stars have setups that require timing inputs right from the beginning of the run. So we start with the boss fight here to be able to handle the text boxes basically. Now, how does the boss fight works? We have basically a setup by positioning ourselves always while he is turning towards us again, which allows us to, at the end, perfectly spawn inside the star. So we take very quick care of him, minimizing the amount of steps the boss needs to take. Here I'm like 1 pixel too high, but that's no problem, we can back it up easily. Usually you would spawn right into the star. Then, the second star we're gonna go for is Cannonless, yet another famous speedrunner trick. It's probably one of the first glitches you would learn when you start out this game. So, Cannonless is pretty random, I would say. We have very consistent setups, but the consistency is around 80%, I would say. We position ourselves right here. It's the very classic setup where we do backflips, do camera setups, and then position ourselves right in a position where we can grab a star through this wall here. It's very, very interesting how that works, because the star is like peeking out of the wall a tiny bit, a few pixels, and that is enough for Mario to grab it, which is very nice. Then we go to the fastest star of the run, which is Into the Wild Blue. We do this by very, very fast movement all timed with the beats of the music, with a technique called beat counting, which I can explain a tiny bit more, because that will be relevant for the entire run. So beat count, like how do we achieve such fluid movement like we see right here? We're gonna now do the tower star, and for the tower star we basically do the same movement as for the boss all the way until the end, where we climb the tower. So beat counting, basically, if you listen to the background music, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But you can basically take the background music's beat, like the tempo of the music, and count it, right? And what we basically do is create a rhythm game out of Super Mario 64 by counting the background music and then binding specific inputs to it. Like on 1 you jump, on 2 you dive, on 3 you go up, on 4 you go upright. And like this we can basically string together movements. Now, here is a very interesting technique with the owl. You can see me now turning mid-air and then shooting into the star. This is a strategy called Mad Owl, and it's funny enough because we do switch controllers only for this particular strat here. This strat is only possible on the Wii version of the game because the controllers on the Wii have a wider range and dead zone than the N64 controller. And I do play on the Wii Virtual Console version, so I do usually play with a GameCube controller, but for this particular star I switched to a Wii Classic controller because of the increased range. And that increased range can give you higher velocity with the owl and shoot you faster to the star. Next up we're gonna do the penguin star, which we first need to grab and unfortunately get bad RNG here. It is possible that the penguin does not decide to jump, but for that we have a backup star. So instead of the penguin, we now do the slide. The penguin strat would be just as visual. We'd get the little penguin to the mama penguin. But as you can see, we can just easily, if we fail the grab because of bad RNG, we can easily just go into the slide and do the slide star, which is very easy. And yeah, we just slide around basically. There's nothing special to say about it. It loses around 20 seconds, I would say, or like let's say 15. It's not that much slower. It's like 15 seconds, but at least we do not need to reset the stage or like the run because we can just keep going, and that's the spirit of Blindfolded, I guess. Having backups for everything, having a solid plan. And the next star is very interesting, which is wall kicks will work, because you will not see what is going on. It will be hidden strats, and the biggest proof that I am actually blindfolded. Because I don't need the camera, and there is the star. Pretty cool, right? Yeah, there are multiple instances where we have strats like this, where the camera is literally just not relevant for us because we don't see. It creates this cool effect for the viewers to also not be able to see. But yeah, before we now move on, we are entering the first Bowser stage, which is available after 8 power stars. And Bowser stages in this game are particularly difficult. They are usually, like in also casual gameplay, like an increase of difficulty to prepare you for the next stages. But in Blindfolded, we have practiced these Bowser stages especially well. So you will see me here fly through the stage, basically like a visual speedrunner. We are quite literally tying beginner strategies or like beginner times of visual speedrunners in Blindfolded now. I personally spent a lot of time optimizing these, and you can see the results. We just fly through the stage really. And yeah, that's already the first Bowser stage. There is so many tiny details that you could talk about here. All these long jumps have particular setups, all these triple jumps have particular setups, but what is much more interesting is the first Bowser fight. Because here we're gonna use yet another glitch that is not often seen in visual runs, which is the tail grab storage. So you can run through Bowser, and here we have touched Bowser's tail and grab him from the front. You can actually store the tail's hitbox into Mario and then activate it later when you are parallel to Bowser in front of him. So we used that twice here to basically drag Bowser into the bomb without actually throwing him. Because as you can imagine, blindfolded throws are just not gonna happen consistently. So like this, we are actually tying the speed of a first try throw while not having to throw Bowser, which is really, really good. Next up is the basement part. Basement is a very interesting part, one of my favorite parts of the entire run, honestly, because there are so many cool stars and so much fast-paced action. We're gonna start by going to Shifting Sandland, which is only 1 star, and actually I lied earlier. Wild Blue is not the shortest star, the fastest star is in fact the pyramid in Shifting Sandland. You will see it right here. If everything goes perfect, the star is only 8 seconds long. So we align ourselves with the slope, jump over it, do some camera manipulation, and boom, we are in the star. That was even a tiny bit slow because I did an unintentional ledge grab there. You can usually just keep going, but that's totally fine. And now we enter Lethal Lava Land, which has probably the hardest stars, I would say. It's only 2, but they are pretty tough. First of all, the red coins, all 8 red coins, which is a fluid beat count from the start to the end. Like you can see me walking here, it looks like visual gameplay. This is all timed by the beat of the music. Everything is timed by the beat. This is just a quite literal rhythm game here. Other blindfolded techniques that we use, the most interesting one is probably normalization, which is funny because it's one of the most important techniques, but you will not see it much in this run because it's so optimized that we just do not have the need to normalize that much anymore. So most of the strategies are counted actually. The star we're gonna grab now is the elevator star, which also has seen lots of improvement. We do a triple jump dive here to the pole, then double jump, and then jump early from the pole again with the dive to the star. This is like, you would not be able to do this faster visually, I'm pretty sure. This is like this is maybe 1 or 2 seconds slower only than like the visual top speed. This is insanely fast. And with that we are done with LLL and go to the final stage of the star collecting thing, which is HMC, and here you will see the lock cam again in action. Here I switch to it. HMC needs the lock cam because the camera is very jank and it allows for setups. For example, this one here. With the lock cam we can perfectly align for this wall a wall kick and we get the left side triple jump wall kick into the star. Super, super good. It's also a pretty recent strat that just saves so much time. It's very hard to perform, but with practice everything is possible. 2 more stars to go. We need to get the Rolling Rock Star first, which is the final instance of... I mean, there's more RNG later on actually, but this is one of the major RNG parts because these rolling rocks here, they can spawn into your path and hit you, and it is possible to get really unlucky and die here, but it is like a 0.01% chance or something. So I'm just like going to the star. You can't see much. Yet again, camera is not important for us if we cannot see, so I just use the camera that's preferable for my setups. Then the hardest star of the run, as always, the good old Toad star. And can he do it? And he did it! Let's go! Never gets old. Toad gives you just a star for free. After you have 12 stars, you can pick it up. And we now have a new Mips catch actually, so we need to get the star early and then re-enter HMC for the last star. It's all just like part of the route. And the last star is the Nessie star, which has an out of bounds clip, which is pretty interesting. So we're gonna time here all with the background music again, a sequence of inputs, change back to Mario Cam, very important, and then manipulate the camera so we can clip through the wall with the elevator and get the star. And that is the final star we are collecting besides, well, we have 15, the category is called 16 star, but we only need 15 stars to spawn Mips the bunny. And now comes the new Mips catch, which is insanely fast too. It looks basically like visual. It is pretty consistent in fact, which is surprising because it's so fast at this point. Like visual speedrunners probably have the same similar speeds from this area. And yeah, we also have new strategies at Mips to clip through the doors. It's all much more fluent, and especially the second part is a very new strat, only developed a couple of days ago, where we don't normalize here. We just, from the door to the next door, it's all one fluent beat count. We align here in the corner, go in Mario Cam, and then beat count the second clip even. And here I fail it, unfortunately, but of course it's blindfolded. I have backups for days. So I failed the first clip. Now we're gonna search Mips again by slowly scanning the wall. And here I grab him, I realign with the pillar, and I can just try again. We have backups like these in literally every single instance of the run, which makes it so safe. And then second try worked perfectly, and we are on to DDD, the final stage with stars. This is also the instance where we get the 16th star only to open Fire Sea. That's why the category is also 16 and not 15 star. So Die Docks is, yeah, blindfolded swimming, not very fun, as you can imagine, but as scary as it is pretty consistent. So it's very rare to mess up Die Docks if you practice it enough. And since we are also on Wii Virtual Console, there's not much lag. So before we now continue with DDD, I want to already start talking about Fire Sea, the second Bowser stage, because that will be impressive. So Fire Sea is probably one of the most optimized stages at this point. We are going to switch controllers once again for a particular new strat that was also found like 1 week ago. I'm switching from a GameCube controller with an ESS adapter, it is called, to basically simulate the classic N64 controller with another GameCube controller without the adapter. So we have original Wii Virtual Console controls. And that allows us to get a consistent wall kick later on. But here you can see we are speeding through the first floor, and that's all very important. We need to be here at a very fast time in order to catch a cycle, because Bowser stages usually have cycles, and here you can see this elevator that goes up and down, which is needed to go to the 3rd floor. And we perfectly catch a cycle here to lava boost on top of it, and now comes the wall kick. We can time a wall kick here, boom, and we skip so much movement there over these after the elevator. Can just cruise through the stage with it, and this is all just possible because we switched the controllers one more time, which is extremely difficult to set up and stuff, and it saves only around 4 seconds, but at this point 16 star is so optimized that we do everything to get even a 1 second time save. So when this strat was found, this was huge. And the second Bowser fight, very similar to the first one. We are gonna do the drag strat. We're gonna position ourselves here, grab Bowser once, then run through his tail, run around him, grab him again with the glitch tail grab storage, and then drag him into the bomb. Very, very clean fight so far. And run as well. So yeah, this was a no reset run. It was basically deathless until now, I believe. There was a couple of unlucky mistakes, for example the bomb clip and the penguin, but both of these were not really my fault, to my own defense here. So next up is BLJs, the funny trick, the most famous speedrun glitch in history probably. BLJs are backwards long jumps, where you long jump through, how do you say? You long jump backwards onto stairs and then do repetitively more long jumps to build up speed. And this is needed to clip through the door here. There's a star door which requires 50 stars. Unfortunately, I failed the first BLJ here because this staircase is pretty short. You need to get the BLJs relatively fast. But again, blindfolded, we have backups for days, so we can just realign here and try again. Will it work now? Let's see. And there we go. That is pretty low speed, but it should work. Like, you don't need much speed, as long as you get like a couple of BLJs going. Will it work? Oh, it worked. Let's go. And then the second one, there is another staircase that we need to skip, the infinite staircase. That one is, of course, a tiny bit easier because it is infinite. So we have unlimited time to try the BLJs until it suddenly works. It's not only mashing dependent, it's like a very particular timing that you need. Here I unfortunately dropped it, but again we can back it up by realigning here with the wall, and then we are up there. And with that we have only one stage left, which is Bowser in the Sky. I'm trying to renormalize here on the corner of this pillar to find the stage entry. And there we go. Now, Bowser in the Sky, again, it's a Bowser stage. We have spent thousands of hours to optimize the Bowser stages because they are in every category. So first here, very new triple jump dive over the beginning platform, just like in visual speedruns. Then a faster cycle here on this elevator that we catch. I unfortunately fail here. I got a wall kick instead of a ledge grab, so I'm just quickly resetting the stage. It happens. This was a very unlucky mistake, but yeah, I reacted quickly and we didn't lose too much time from it. It's funny because this would actually still be on, I think, PB pace for the old route, because we have currently a new route which uses LBLJ as well as different stars, and the current world record utilizes that new route. But we still want to split the categories between LBLJ and no LBLJ, because it's a very, very difficult glitch that only around 3 people in the world can perform blindfolded so far. So we want to make the game more accessible by keeping the old route intact. And the old route's world record is 22 minutes, 22 seconds, which you can see on my splits as well. I do hold both of the world records there. Anyways, more to Sky, we are finally past that mistake, and we are approaching one of the most difficult tricks here in the game, which is standing left side. A trick usually exclusively reserved for visual speedruns, but we have improved so much that we can do it blindfolded now. And back to back there is another very, very difficult jump, which is the elevator skip. Also similar difficulty as the left side. This is not used in visual speedruns, but it is just as impressive up there. And now the final RNG from Goombas. I heard that Goomba there, so I ground pounded first. And now I am just cruising to the last Bowser fight. 22-minute entry time, very, very good, honestly. Here, unfortunately, I made a little mistake with the staircase, so I need to renormalize here with the wall. I listened for the wall sound to confirm my position. And there we go, out into the last fight here. The last Bowser fight is also interesting. It works in a very, very weird way because it's extremely difficult right at the end of the run. First of all, we have to drag Bowser, or like hope that he runs into us, and then drag him into the bomb. There is a 50% chance that he does the run attack and a 50% chance that he does a jump attack. Here we got twice the running attack, which is extremely lucky. We can drag him into first 2 bombs, but then the stage starts to crumble. So the last one we need to actually throw. And that throw is only a 2-frame window, or even only a 1-frame window, depending on your exact position. So, boom, there we hit it, first try, super clean run, really happy. For a no reset, a 23-minute time is absolutely insane. I think I have gotten 3 23-minute runs in a no reset setting so far, and this is one of them, so yeah, it just shows how consistent and good this category has become. Very, very happy about that. The 23-minute time is still the 2nd place on the leaderboard behind my world record, so very, very impressive stuff that we can consistently hit such times. The estimate for a marathon run will probably be a tiny bit higher, just in case I miss 1 or 2 Bowser throws, because as I said, it's a 1 or 2 frame window at the very end, and if we fail it, we lose like a minute each time. So I will probably put the estimate between 25 and 30 minutes somewhere, probably like 27, 28, I can hit very, very consistently. But yeah, that was Blindfolded 16 star with a lot of new strats, lots of improvement since a couple of years. I really hope this will make it into some marathons and you enjoyed watching this. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, leave me a comment here and below. I'm always happy to answer them. And see you with more blindfolded awesomeness. Bye bye. Thank you very much.